Welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things, and this month's resin review. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically I've started doing resin projects. I've been doing them for about a year, and I promised myself that I would try to do one review video a month talking about my progress, where I'm at, the things I've made, that kind of stuff. I primarily use the Sophie and Toffee Pixie Box molds for that. If you don't know what those are molds, or Sophie and Toffee is a resin company that sells subscription boxes. They have a couple of different ones. I get the Pixie Box, and basically what the Pixie Box is a bunch of molds for resin, along with different things you can put into the resin, centered on a theme. This month's theme for February was Happy Easter, because they try to give you the molds early enough so you can make the projects for whichever upcoming holiday you have. There's a lot of fun things included in the projects, or in the box, I should say, to kind of let you come up with your own projects. You get a lot of stuff for the resin, but you do not get the resin. You have to buy that separately. I got the Pixie Box because I thought it would give me a bit more of a creative outlet. And when I started getting them, I was brand new to resin, didn't know what I needed, didn't know what I liked, and thought that getting like a mixed bag of things once a month would work best for me. So the prices have been on the screen for you if you're curious about how much it costs. I will warn you that you are having it shipped from Singapore, so shipping I think is like $6 or $10 a box. Like it's pretty pricey. But yeah, so let's talk about this month's box. I'm just gonna go like mold by mold what came in here, and then we'll talk about the extras that I did at the end. So we had the Happy Easter box. In it you had 20 different items. The biggest one was the egg-shaped mold, right? It was pretty fun looking. And then there was the bunny shaker mold with films. And then there was this rabbit display mold. And then there is this bowl mold as well. Then you got some inclusions. You got some half diamond beads. These were great for your egg-shaped mold. You have some glow-in-the-dark stickers, some pastel-y kind of glitter. You have this really cool divider mixing silicone cup. 2 random colors of the Morandi dies. I got what they called maroon, which is beige, and oh, I can't remember the other color I have. It's downstairs. I'll pop the color up for you on the screen. The polymer clay slices, these work really well in like shaker molds and things. A UV torch and some assorted confetti. I didn't use a lot of these this month, but I did use some. So when I'll explain what I used when I come across it and what I didn't use. But I have the molds in one box. I have the finished pieces in another box. So let's just talk about it. Okay, so first up is going to be like the big kahuna guy from this month. And that's the egg-shaped mold. It came with 3 pieces. You had your base and your top. Looking at them, I can't remember which is which. And then you had your topper as well. They are different because one has like the lip that like slots into the other side. All right, and they're flat on one side too, so they kind of form like a really nice egg. And then you have your topper that sits on top like that. And this is your top view of the egg. The topper is not glued down because I wanted to show you something that I discovered while I was doing it. I did some pink mica powder for the heart, and then I drew with some paint pens that I have these purple stripes. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the stripes or not. I might end up taking them off. I'm not sure. But here's your topper, and then here's my mold. So I glued the diamonds on. I don't know if it's picking up in the light, but I did like a purple pearlescent mica on all of the like the rope detailing. You can really see it in real life. I don't know if it's picking up on film. Let's see if I can change the lighting a bit. Yeah, do you see that sheen? I used the same purple marker to fill in the other bits. I don't know if I like that either, but there you go. Let's see if I change the color. I don't know. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's really pretty. Really, really pretty in real life. Like, I think it just looks really white on the camera for you, but there is a purple sheen there. I have some bubbles on the top, but that'll be covered up with this guy. That's what it's going to look like when it's finished. I have a lot of bubbling in these like little beaded details. Every single one was a bubble. I thought that I had got them all when I poured, but I didn't. Also, it looks like they're a little messy. This side too, there's bubbles in each and every single one of them. So if you haven't made this mold yet and you have it, I do recommend like filling it up to like a certain point here or something, and then popping all of your bubbles to make sure that that sits nicely. All of the rope detailing is all nice, and or braid detailing is all nice and finished. But yeah, every single one except for one of these, like this one's the only one without a bubble in it, have bubbles. And then here's your interior. You can kind of see on the bottom some of that pearlescent powder. Like I coated these, like the braids, and then I put a little bit of powder in with the white to make the egg, and that's kind of how it came out. So yeah, this took the most amount of time. I'll probably remake it now that I know what the problems are. I have enough diamonds left over to do another one of these, which is really cool. So yeah, that's my egg for you. I'll try to like get a photo, or hopefully I've already thrown a photo in for you to kind of see what it looks like with the all purple. Like I'll like mess with lighting and stuff. So yeah, that's my egg. Before I move on to the next mold too, I wanted to say that, like, see, I have quite a few of these diamonds left for another project, like I said, and I actually attached them with this sticky guy that I got in a previous box. I finally managed to sharpen him and have a use for him. So this worked really well to grab these little diamond beads to stick on. So yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to that. While I was rifling around in my box, I found it and thought I'd bring it to your attention. So the next two things that I made were these guys here. This is the shaker mold. This is like a little decoration kind of deal. I haven't finished the shaker because I didn't want to mess with the oil. I did like a color mix and ended up with this really pretty like purpley almost maroon shade, not quite, with some sparkle in it, right? Some of the glitter from this month's box. And then I did like a really light black backing just because I was afraid that this back wasn't thick enough, because I don't think I was pouring deep enough on any of my molds. And that's a lighting issue downstairs. I was having a hard time seeing. I need to make better light. And then this, like I said, is like a little display guy. I just used all of the, or not all, but quite a few of the different colored glitters. I don't know if you can see that or not, but a bunch of the different colored glitters to just make a clear glitter guy. Yeah, I think you can see that, hey? He stands up. He's really, really cute. I was gonna put a face on him. I drew a face on him actually, but I didn't like it, so I erased it. So I might put a face on him, I'm not sure. I am gonna make a couple of more of these because I really like them, and I'm gonna stick them in the one and only tier tray that I have. Make it a little bit more Eastery. So that's this guy. Yeah, we'll just kind of keep them like that. And then our final mold was this guy here. It had like this rose detailing on it with some leaves. I leaned into the rose motif. I don't know how I like the colors and stuff or how it worked out, but here's the interior. I mixed a little bit of green. That's it. I think my second color was apple green. So I mixed a little bit of green in with my white to give this kind of green tone to it. And then here's this side. What I did is I covered them in mica powder first, the roses, in like a pink mica and a red mica. And then I did a green mica for the detail, like the vine detail. And then last night I ran some of the paint pens that I just picked up. I just have like these guys here from Michael's. I picked them up last night because I wanted to do some detailing work with them. And then they've just been living in this like little container until I put them away later. They don't even all fit, but yeah. So anyway, so I did the green, I did a pink from there, and then this red is from Sophie and Toffee. I got it in a previous box too. I think it turned out really well. I kind of like the subtle green to it. And it's a really decent sized egg or holder. Like it is large enough to hold the egg. So you could make like a set out of it if you want to. I wonder if you could make you could even do like a display if you wanted to. That's kind of pretty. So yeah, those were the molds from this box that I used. I think they all came out pretty well. And then I've kind of just been experimenting with some of the other molds that I've had, some of my failures, things like that. So that's what we're going to talk about next. I don't know if you recognize these dudes. They were from the Jurassic box over the summer. This was an absolute and utter failure. I need to clean these. An absolute utter failure for me. I could not get them to work. I only tried once, and then I determined that the humidity in my house, the heat and the humidity in my house was just too high, and it wasn't letting any of the molds cure. Like my entire Jurassic box was a complete failure. Here's a card if you want to click over and watch that, but watch my resin review failure, something like that. But anyway, so I tried these out again. They're really deep, and I don't know why I thought I had to like pour all of it. After I poured it and let it sit and like demolded it, I realized I didn't have to. But here are the molds. So here's this purple dinosaur, Triceratops. It is the same purple that went into this guy here. So here's the top, right? You can see all like the detailing. And then I could have just left it at that, right? It was like this thin. And then I could have just left it, but for some reason I poured a whole bunch of black onto the back of it. So now it's like this really kind of cool looking two-tone dinosaur. It deepened the color on the front quite a bit. Because like if you can see, this purple is it's like a clear, and then this is like more opaque. So here's that guy. And then I have like this kind of matte blue dinosaur, and in this you can kind of see all of the scratches and stuff that I ended up putting into the mold when I was cleaning it, because like I was having such a hard time getting my mold clean. So now I have to figure out how to smooth my mold out so that I don't get any more scratches in it, or try to clean that up. I also have a couple of bubbles in this one. No bubbles in this one, but a couple of bubbles in this one. And then I did the two-tone as well. So I have like this almost translucent blue with a bunch of black on the back. I think he looks really cool. I showed them to my husband and told him, look, I made you dinosaurs. And he was confused, but appreciative because he liked, right, dinosaurs from his youth. I'm like, look how pretty all of that detailing, like the pour is with just the black mica. So yeah, we did these guys. They turned out well. They're just gonna like live somewhere as display pieces. All right, and so I forgot to bring the cup that like pours colors out, the 4-color divided cup thing that came in this box. Here's a photo. I didn't bring it up from downstairs. It's still a little dirty, so I need to clean it up before I put it away. But I thought that I would try out this cat tray mold from my first ever Pixie Box. I love this cat tray, but it uses up a lot of resin when I make it, so I tend not to. But I wanted to try it out again because I have this color mold, or this the pouring cup, and I wanted to like have like a big surface to try out the cup. So I made 2 molds. I made this first one here that I embedded some butterflies into. It's really, there's a lot of like air bubbles and stuff on it. I'm not sure how that happened. I thought when I was curing it, because I used some UV resin on the top, I thought when I was curing it that I had all of that taken care of, but as you can see, there's a lot of bubbles. I don't know if you can see yeah, you can see there's a lot of bubbles. But what I did with this one, this was my first pour. You can kind of see on the back. I did a green, I did a pink, I did a blue, and I did a white, but I didn't make the colors saturated enough. Like, so you can kind of see some green in there. Like, let's see. Again, we'll turn off my light. Yeah, so you can see some green in there. You can see some pink in there. But the blue's gone, and then the white has taken over because they were all really soft. Yeah, like you can kind of really see the bubbles there. But yeah, and then, so that was my first attempt with the pour. I don't think it's terrible. I think it was better before I did this overlay and had all those bubbles in it, but we'll see what I can do about that. And then this was my second attempt. We'll leave the light off because you can kind of really see the gold in there and the purple. So this was, I did a gold, so I did black and purple, white and gold, I think. Gold and white, something like that. And I kind of just poured it up and down in a, oh, right, I did black on the back. Up and down in a straight line with the 4 colors pouring out. So one side got really gold, one side got really purple. I did not pour it thick enough, or I was afraid I hadn't poured it thick enough. So again, I added like a black back onto it. I didn't need to, I don't think. And here's the back with that black mica. I really need to get better lighting for downstairs so that I don't have to keep like wasting resin like that. But this is the second tray and how it turned out. You kind of see dots down here. I was experimenting with a paint pen, but I decided I didn't like it and I erased it. And now you have some subtle like dots and I like it. So yeah, that's my second attempt with the pouring thing. I think I learned that I need to have like high contrast saturated colors to really make the colors pop. So yeah, those are the trays. We're nearing the end, guys. Sorry this video is taking so long. I like to talk. So now we'll pull out the rest of what I have. I made these gnomes again. I attempted this wind chime again. This will be my third attempt at making that work. I made this monstera leaf. This is my one of my very favorite molds. I make it all the time. And then I tried this container mold from one of my very first resin projects. I've never made it so that it's worked 100% either. Like, it came out really soft at Christmas. It didn't cure properly in the very middle from my first attempt, and it's cracked and stuff. So I wanted to try this again. So that's what I did. We'll talk this guy first because he's closest to me. Here he is. Here's the top. I used a really chunky glitter in this. Here's the bottom, a whole bunch of air pop bubbles, but I'm actually kind of liking the look of it. I did a really chunky confetti glitter or something they call it, and purple translucent dye, I think, with some white. Honestly, I usually just throw a bunch of stuff into a container. See what comes from it. And what I wanted to talk about this one is that as I was curing and cleaning and stuff, I set this aside, and then I realized that it actually fits this jar really nicely. So if I put like some sort of like sealer here, I don't know what, like some cork or something to have it close in, I could have like a fun jar. Like, how pretty is that? I like it. I like it a lot. This was why I didn't put it on top of my egg. I wanted to show you that it fits this jar really nicely. So yeah, there's this guy. Then we'll talk about the leaf. Here's my leaf. I poured the blue, made the blue a little darker, and then made this guy. It has some sparkle. Actually, maybe it was the opposite. I made this guy. Yeah, I made this guy, and then I added some glitter. Now, what did I do? I made that guy, the dinosaur, and then I made this. I added a bunch of clear resin to that to make it clear, and then I poured this with a whole bunch of different of the pastel glitters in different spots. So different spots on this leaf have different colored glitters. I poured these two at the same time. So yeah, there's a couple of different glitters in there, and it's really pretty blue. Off with the light. I don't know if you can see the glitter as well, but there's a lot of really pretty glitter in here. So that one, now we're nearing the end. We'll do this next because I see it. So here's this guy. He's finally cured and he's solid. So I have like an outer ring, I have a solid inner ring, I have a solid matching hanging thing. So I can actually make a wind chime now. Like, how cool is this? These I think came from the same box as this guy. I think these were all part of the same box. So I'm so happy that I could finally make myself a wind chime. I haven't yet. Because I just unmolded these yesterday, but like, how cool is that? Finally, after this is like my third attempt at this wind chime, I finally managed to make it. And then, so that's these guys here. And then lastly, I made these little gnomes just out of some extra resin that I had, some of the purple from this guy here. And then I used my pens and painted them. So there's like a purple guy that you can see the sparkle through. I did some silver on his beard, but it kind of blended in with the purple. Then I made this guy with the silver, right? I opened up some of the purple, and then I did a red beard. And this is how they turned out. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I thought that maybe they'd look cool hanging as like the bottom to my wind chime, maybe. I thought I was going to go more Easter and pastel-y with this, but I didn't. I went hardcore purples and blues and blacks and stuff, and whites. So yeah, that is this month's resin review. Lots of purple, some blue, don't know if you can even see that blue. These really pretty containers, this Easter stuff, this, did I get everything on? I did. I ran out of resin again. I've been doing that a lot. But everything's been turning out, and because everything is turning out, and I have, like I said in my last video, a dedicated resin area. I can't get everything in. Well, this one and this one don't really work. Because I have like a dedicated resin area, I've been able to like focus more on getting these done, doing different pours and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, this is this month's projects. What did you think? Do you like them? Did you get this box? Have you made items? Is there somewhere that I can find what you've made? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, I haven't thanked my newest subscribers in a while. I've seen you guys coming in and subscribing. As of recording this video, I'm at 305, which is amazing. So thank you all for subscribing. Hello, welcome. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who watches these videos. I'm really happy when I see people subscribe. I'm tiny, and to see people enjoying these videos and subscribing always makes me a little happy. So yeah, let me know what you think about these projects. Did you like them? Did you like the colors I chose? Which one was your favorite? To be honest, I think this purple tray is my favorite. I just love how the colors turned out. I just think it's so pretty. And yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. I do one Pixie Box unboxing a month, usually at the beginning of the month when the box comes in, or whenever the box comes in, hopefully on a Monday, sometimes through the week. And then I'm trying really hard to do one resin review video a month as well. So that's this video for you. That usually comes at the end of the month. And yeah, so like the video if you've made it to the end, and I think I have to go because I have another video to film after this. So yeah, with all of that being said, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye!